Flex has openly acknowledged his sucker style for years. All Flex cares about is being on this radio, being in the clubs. He loves being a DJ. They hate the fact that I get on here and talk about the fact they ain't invested in studio. The new owners here at Hot 97, they can start coming for us real quick because I know they look at this line, they look at the amount of money they paying for this show every month, and they trying to figure out a way to get rid of some bodies up here.
Ebro attacks the administration of Funk Flex and Hot 97. Ebro attacked Flex in the mornings and even questioned Hot 97's latest media management strategies. In case you were unaware, MediaCo acquired Hot 97 a few years ago. It recently underwent a drastic change in its radio schedule, extending Ebro from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. to 5 a.m. to 11 a.m., and allowing the well-known DJ Enuff to continue. Dusky will now be available from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Nessa came next from 1 to 5. And Flex now begins at 5 p.m. rather than 7 p.m. and concludes at the customary 10 p.m. At first, it seemed like a standard management reorganization, but DJ Enuff would later go on TMZ and say he thinks Funk Flex is to blame for his termination.
The reason why you're out.
Maybe.
Can you speak to that?
Maybe. I think so. Maybe. I can't prove it.
Okay.
But in my heart, that's what I feel happened.
Okay. Have you had a conversation with him? Have you seen him?
No.
Has he texted you saying anything?
No.
No communication at all.
It's crucial to keep in mind that Funk Flex still holds the title of Creative Program Director at Hot 97, which would allow him to pressure the executives to take that action, even if the station does not now have a program director. I knew that Funk Flex and DJ Enuff didn't follow each other, and that he basically got the shaft when this new move was made, so that must have been some animosity between them. That's absurd that DJ Enuff would even go on record claiming this, but I did tweet out when it happened. Later on, Flex would refute Enuff's charges on his own program.
Nothing, because what the headline says is not what he said. So, but I want to make sure we talk, because we use the word brotherhood.
But according to Ebro and his co-host, Flex lied about what truly transpired.
And he knows, the real story behind the Camilo and the Drewski and the time changes. Like, why are we lying, bro?
Wait, what's the real story?
We all know the real stories, bro.
What's the real story?
Enuff wasn't pushed out of any of those slots.
However, a significant component is still lacking from all of this. Despite Ebro's portrayal of Media Code and Hot 97's new management as malevolent corporate intruders, Hot 97 has outperformed Power 105.1 in terms of ratings over the past 4 months. The two haven't really been at odds for the past 4 months, basically since the Lauren LaRosa Just Hilarious incident. Even though I know that Power 105.1 is viewed as this enormous beast in the heart of New York City, they are being mercilessly beaten by Hot 97. And if you go back in time, that was unthinkable at one point. Power always prevailed against Hot 97. However, the tide has now changed, and we will have to wait and watch how things develop. Additionally, the management of MediaCo took some significant steps to reduce the size of Hot 97's iconic Summer Jam Festival and move it to a smaller venue. They also changed the radio format to include more worldly music, such as Bad Bunny, Doat, and other artists, which I believe helped them format Power 105.1 before MediaCo's acquisition. Since Hot 97 was still performing Summer Jam at MetLife Stadium, they were spending a lot of money to reserve a large venue with little chance of a return. Perhaps Ebro is attempting to take control of the story, even though throughout his tenure as program director, Hot 97 had its darkest moments and would hardly ever defeat the Charlemagne-backed Power 105. Regarding Charlemagne, what prospects does he have for radio? It won't be long until his position as the top dog at iHeart's urban-based radio format is called into question, given how badly he is losing in radio ratings in major markets like New York and Atlanta. He is getting fewer and fewer returns from his safe behavior. And will Charlemagne's nearly 2-decade tenure at The Breakfast Club come to an end when his contract expires in 2026? And is Ebro angling to be a potential contender to take Charlemagne's spot in Power 105 if his abilities wane? Charlemagne went on a tirade about how The Breakfast Club is still the best if you look at what he has been doing for the past 2 weeks with his own clever idiots and The Breakfast Club.
I never look at ratings numbers, but when I think about Breakfast Club and we going into our 15th year, and we, number one in all of these different demos, not just in New York, by the way, all around the country, it's dope.
Yeah.
because we've been doing it 15.
Listen to what he said, though. He claimed that in several demos, it was the top choice. Additionally, he made a post on Instagram that failed to admit that in New York City, he is currently ranked second to Hot 97. Now, there's a lot of delusion going on, not only from Charlemagne, but also from people at Ebro in the Morning who claim that DJ Enuff was doing really well in the ratings.
Good ratings is what's supposed to keep ownership happy, and that's what DJ Enuff is doing.
And by the way, that ain't enough these days.
Because nothing's enough.
It's never enough. Are you bringing in advertisers? Are you shouting out your clubs and not paying? Are you putting advertising dollars on the books?
Hot 97 doesn't want that. They're looking for someone who is killing it in the ratings. They also think they will successfully rout Power 105 now that Funk Flex is increasing his hours and Ness and Ebro are joining him. In light of all the turmoil at Hot 97, their recent proposal to extend their most well-liked shows is a surefire way to distance themselves from Power. Ebro then even interrupts Funk Flex to declare that he would be happy to perform the song and dance for the Hot 97 executives. What on earth is happening? Is Ebro attempting to disparage Funk Flex because the words song and dance are so bizarre? In essence, he is saying, hey, this guy's a shill. Yo, Funk Flex, as long as he's able to keep his radio show and DJ at clubs, he doesn't really care what's going on with other people, he even remarked. Simple. Funk Flex is being made to appear insane by them. They claim that his only concern is keeping his job at a New York City radio station. Is Ebro projecting here, though? Because I believe a lot of people say that about Ebro. Ebro doesn't actually look at anyone, and if they do attract attention, he will position them just beneath him so he can keep an eye on things and ensure they don't become larger than him. Almost everyone who works in radio does that. There are only a limited number of seats in this competitive world. Many people wouldn't be able to enter the media broadcasting industry if it weren't for podcasting. What I'm seeing is that many people support Ebro by pretending he was a fantastic program director, but in reality, that's when Hot 97 began to fail after Ebro took over. Share your thoughts with me. Do you believe DJ Enuff was betrayed by Funk Flex? I don't think DJ Enuff is mentioned enough, and a lot of people claim that he has a wonderful personality when it comes to the social side of radio. Flex was the king, and his demeanor just worked. No matter how skilled you are at radio, it doesn't matter. You cannot provide if you are unable to do so. To tell the truth, DJ Enuff wasn't very good at doing the theater of the mind, despite his skill at spinning music. And I hope Funk Flex received a raise now that he has been with us longer. Ebro further said that Hot 97 had failed to inform him that he would be there from 5 a.m. until 11 p.m. They're saying, yo, this guy is saying that they didn't even hit him up, so I'm wondering if they're going to give him a raise. Yo, you're going from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m., and that's that. Since the main goal is brand recognition, they may be performing their best work from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then extending some kind of mix show at 10 a.m. to keep the show going longer. It'll be easy to take on declining greats if I have the best shows running for a longer period of time. Well, I believe it's time for that discussion. Even though Angie Martinez is fantastic, she doesn't carry much weight at the moment. Yeah, I did say that. These days, she merely does interviews, and a lot of people conduct interviews these days. She stood out when not many people were being interviewed. Now she's mistaken in terms of radio ratings. However, the industry has become more and more competitive. Because they don't care about that old-fashioned radio stuff, Hot 97 is bodying Power 105, as you can see. Do you intend to bring the radio ratings? Use the whip sufficiently? You're not. You're not TT Torres, so get out. You need to leave Rosenberg because even though TT and all these individuals provided good ratings, they did not complete the radio ratings that we needed. And if Ebro continues to criticize Media Co., how long will he be on air? Since they have them in a sort of good negotiating ploy, I think he is aware that the corporation would not want to let him go because doing so could cause the ratings to drop. For example, if I disappear, Charlemagne will win the morning ratings because no one will recognize my name. There isn't another era further than Ebro, and Rosenberg is probably the most hated man in New York City in terms of his views on music and radio.
It won't be taken over by Laura Stiles, for example. What will you do? Do Funk Flex first thing in the day? No, Funk Flex works from 5 to 10 p.m., and that's what's happening at Power and Hot 97. Given the dire outlook for the individuals in charge of Power's radio broadcasts, this film is equally as much a Power as a Hot 97 one. Not iHeart. iHeart is doing well. They will be totally awesome if they plug someone in. But what are you doing, DJ Envy, Jess, Lauren, and Charlemagne? I believe that's what executives at iHeart are considering. However, please share your thoughts in the comment section. Having stated that, please follow me on The Stop TV on Instagram. Follow me on The Stop TV on Twitter. Keep up with me on Patreon. The streets of New York City are becoming quite intriguing, oh boy. Additionally, I am aware that many people will ask, Danny, who cares about New York City? The city of New York is significant. About 8 million people live within this constrained geographic area. So when individuals stroll through the streets of New York City, executives are paying attention when they see others discussing specific morning shows. Radio still matters. I take it that radio has the highest ad dollar conversion rate. The money is being dispersed among all these other streaming websites. On the other hand, an advertising agency is most likely the only entity paying money for radio. On the other hand, it's being disrupted by websites like Spotify and other online platforms. A lot of people are cutting up the dope.